Hi guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I filmed a full face of first impressions testing a bunch of new makeup for you guys today. I have a good mix of drugstore and high-end makeup. I want to go ahead and start by saying that midway through this video, I was ready to take my makeup off and scrap it because I was not happy and really still not am happy with the way that the look turned out. But I feel like it's really important for me to be transparent with you guys and to let you know that my makeup does not always turn out good. I feel like today's video is a really perfect representation of that. I love doing these full face of first impressions, but the thing is, sometimes when you're using a bunch of new products, it's hard to tell what's not working. I did a very bold eye look today that I really don't know how I feel about still. If you're interested to see how I came up with this look, then make sure to keep on watching. But before we go any further, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel once a week, so you never have to miss me for too long. Let's just go ahead and get into it. We are just going to talk about the elephant in the room real quick. My lash extensions are gone and I don't know how I feel about it. Luckily, I have some lashes that I'm gonna try to put on. Haven't practiced, probably should have, but God's with me, so I'll be okay. I already went ahead, did my brows and primed my eyelids. I will leave everything that I used down in the description box. I really just want to focus on the new stuff today. We are going to go ahead and jump straight into eyes. The original of this palette is one of my all-time favorites. Morphe X JACLYN Hill Volume 2 palette. This palette is a lot more pinky purpley base versus the first palette is kind of like an array of a lot of colors, but mostly neutrally based. G Money and Grateful right here. And I'm gonna mix those two together on a blending brush and just put those in my crease. The original Volume 1 palette is actually one of my favorites of all time because I feel like it's a really, really good beginner palette. It's really a good palette for anybody, but especially for beginners because it has a lot of neutral colors in it, but it also does have some pop of color. If you're wanting to kind of venture out, you can do that slowly and still feel like you're in a safe space. It's not really your traditional pinky palette because it really has some super vibrant pinks in here that are just not your typical everyday type of colors. These colors are blending beautifully. I'm just slowly building this into the crease. They're not patchy whatsoever. We're just gonna go for it, y'all. I'm gonna take this color right here, Heart On, and take another clean brush and just put that right on top of where I just placed those other two colors. Doing circular motions to kind of build up that pink. Now I'm going to take Tipsy Girl, this like super bright hot pink color, and I am going to take a smaller blending brush and I just want to blend that onto the edges. I'm going to mix Tipsy Girl and My Man together and I'm just going to put that on the edges, light-handed with these colors because they are very, very vibrant. Now I'm just going in with Tipsy Girl because I do really want that pink. I'm gonna go ahead and take a blank brush and I just want to kind of like blend out the edges of this, which is kind of hard because it's like right on my eyebrow. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the outer crease color, Oh Hello and Crazy together. I'm gonna place those right on the outer lid. Oh, that's pretty. And I'm also connecting it right now. It kind of is stopping right here. I want it to be more angled like this. So always start on the outer V right there, hugging my lash line. I will say it's a little easier to do eyeshadow without lashes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking a little crazy. I do want to deepen it up just a little bit, so I'm gonna go in with this color Temptress. I'm just gonna put it right on my lash line, like right there, just dabbing it, and that is a very nice black. I have some really harsh edges right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a brush, clean, big fluffy brush, and just blend the outside of that out. I'm not touching the black yet. Now I'm gonna take that black and start to blend it out. I usually never bring my eyeshadow up so high, so I don't know how I'm feeling right now. And keep in mind, I'm doing eye tapes, so half of this is gonna be gone anyways, which is why I'm really making sure that I'm blending outward. And I don't like the color that this orange is turning. It's kind of like a burnt-ish orange now. It's not super vibrant like it was. I'm gonna put shimmer over it first, and that may fix my issue. All of these shimmers are speaking to me, let me just say, but I feel like this one right here, it would be perfect for the eye look. It's the color Drama Queen. I'm going to use a finger for one eye and a brush for another. I'm not really feeling the eye look right now. I think I was a little too ambitious. I'm just taking a brush and I sprayed it with some setting spray. I feel like the concept is there with the eye look. Something isn't meshing right now. I'm not loving the orange that I put down, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can mask that orange with a pink shade. So I'm gonna take the shade Dance Party. I think that's what I'm not really liking. I love how buildable these colors are. You see how I'm just putting it on there and it's actually showing up. Kind of want more shimmer. Before we do liner, I want to go on this with this color Ride or Diamonds. Sometimes the reason that I use so many eyeshadows is because I want to test out as many colors as I can for you guys, but sometimes that backfires. Whenever I'm working with shimmer, I just like to take a clean brush, kind of help that shimmer to gradiate into whatever matte color I'm using, just by kind of blending it back and forth, and that seems to help a lot. I think it's going to look much better when I wipe off. I do have a new winged liner today. NYX Epic Wear Ink Liner Waterproof Eyeliner Pen in the color Black. I cannot do winged liner without these e.l.f. Line and Define eye tape, so I went ahead, cut one of those in half and popped it on. It is a pin type of component, so whenever I do my wing, I always go short to long, and I do my wing and then my line. So far, very easy to work with, very black. I have found that brush tips are a little bit easier to work with, only because the tip is more malleable, meaning it moves more easily. It's not as stiff. And I'm also very impressed with this formula because it's actually able to cover my shimmer very well, meaning that it has good pigmentation. This is pretty close to the Maybelline Hyper Easy for me. Easy to use, very pigmented black brush tip more than a felt tip. Again, because it's easier to move, it's not so stiff. Let's see. Luckily, my natural lashes are very curly. They're not very long. I recently tried this mascara and I want to go ahead and try it again. Dragun Beauty Explicit Mascara. It's doing a really good job at adding length, but also separating. Not super clumpy at all. I like the wand. It is a little bit tinier. I keep looking at myself because I don't know who I am right now. Ardell 3D Faux Mink Lashes in the style number 858. Out of everything that I've bought so far, I feel like these resemble the lash extensions that I had the best. Kiss Lash Adhesive tweezers from Morphe that I got. They are lash tweezers. Just to show you up close, this is what they look like. They do have that thin band on the top. I did have somebody tell me that thinner bands are easier to apply than thicker ones. If you look up close on the lashes, there's two little clear strips. I did have somebody tell me to cut those off. Run it along. I got the outside, but I just gotta get the inside. I feel like it looks good. What do you guys think? For my first attempt, there's like this like kind of clear latex. It wasn't the glue, it's the lash. They don't look as long on me as they do in the box. There's like this like latexy type of stuff. And maybe that's what they use to keep it sticking. Okay, so that gluey stuff, I'm not a fan of. I think I did a pretty decent job of putting these on for the first time. They're not very comfortable though. And I don't know if that's just because I need to get used to wearing the lashes. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of mascara on to blend. I think they're pretty. I honestly wish they were a little bit longer. I went ahead and did a little bit of primer water. So now we are ready for complexion. Two new primers, MAC Strobe Cream in the color Pink Light. I don't really know what to expect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this all over the face. Super lightweight, definitely gave a glow to the skin. I don't know what else I was expecting. It did say strobe cream. I've used this formula before, but I've never used it in this form. NYX Pore Filler Stick. The NYX Pore Filler is one of my favorite pore filling primers of all time, and I thought that this was really awesome because you can just put it right where you want it, which is what I do with this anyways. So I'm just gonna put this in my T-zone, and look, you can already tell. And this also, I feel like, is great if you're somebody that is more heavy-handed, limits the amount of product that you are going to use. Before, after. A lot of you may ask, well, why do you put that hydrating primer on in the same places that you put the mattifying pore filling primer on? Because it actually allows the mattifying slash pore filling primer to go on a little bit more smoothly. I'm going to be using a tinted moisturizer today, Rare Beauty Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer, and I have this in the color number 44N, and I'm going to be using my MILANI sponge. The Rare Beauty foundation is one of my favorites, so when I saw that they were coming out with a tinted moisturizer, I was like, yes. It does look like it's going to be a little light, which is okay because my powder foundation is going to be a little bit too dark. It does smell like sunscreen. I am going to be doing half sponge, half brush. Blending out very, very easily. This reminds me, first impression, a lot of the L'Oreal Nude Serum Drops. The one thing I do like about medium slash light coverage foundations, tinted moisturizers, is that if the color match isn't perfect, it's okay. It's not full coverage, so the color match is a little bit more forgiving. Now I'm gonna go in on the other side. I'm not gonna use as much as I did. A brush. Okay, so you see how this is like super streaky? I definitely like the sponge side more. I've actually never had a product do that. I mean, it's no big deal because it doesn't do it with the sponge. It's definitely something I feel like should be noted. I feel like this is more so light coverage than medium coverage. This is something that I would pair with like my MAC Studio Fix Plus because that is a full coverage powder foundation. Okay, so we need a little coverage. So I found that most of the time I can achieve a full coverage look if I use a full coverage concealer underneath the eyes. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And we have two different ones. I gotta start doubling up on some of these concealers because I have a lot. I always go in with two concealers, one that is closer to my skin shade and then one that is a little bit brighter. I already went ahead and laid down a concealer that is very close to my skin shade, and we have two new concealers that are more of brightening shades. LANCOME TEINT IDOLE All Over Concealer in the color 435. Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin 24-Hour Concealer, and I have this in the color 4.5. I love the LANCOME TEINT IDOLE foundation. It's one of the first high-end foundations that I ever tried. It did do a little bit of brightening, which is what I wanted it to do. These both have such tiny containers with huge doe foot applicators, and I just put a little bit right on the inside of my eye. I'm really not crazy about that tinted moisturizer. It's not glowy looking, it just looks very oily. Do you know what I mean? Do you see? Like, it's not like a super nice healthy glow, and it kind of almost feels heavy, like it's starting to feel really heavy on the face. We do have another new Rare Beauty product. I'm giving this more than one use. Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick in the color True Warmth. This is way, way too red for me to use as a bronzer. I don't like super red bronzers on myself, but I felt like this would be a really pretty blush. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it like I would a blush because I feel like that's gonna be really pretty berry type of color. I'm just gonna blend this out. Okay, now I'm liking this a lot more than I'm liking the tinted moisturizer. Now it did blend out to have super light coverage, so I'm gonna go ahead and build it up a little bit. See if I can. I would never use this as a bronzer, but I swatched it and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be such a pretty blush color. But it is buildable, and I just wanted to go ahead and put this on before I set underneath my eyes. We're gonna set underneath the eyes, and usually I would use a loose setting powder, but I don't have one, so we're gonna switch it up. I have another translucent drugstore powder. I am on the hunt for the perfect translucent drugstore powder. NYX HD finishing powder in the color translucent. So I'm just gonna take a small domed brush. It just mattified. That actually did a really good job at smoothing. My biggest thing with these type of powders is that they just sometimes make my under eyes look so white and not even smooth or anything. I accidentally bought this product 2 times, and the real kicker is that I bought it in 2 different shades. Sephora Micro Smooth Multitasking Baked Face Powders, and I have the color 56 Mahogany and 58 Almond. I'm gonna go ahead and use 58 Almond. These do have a little bit of a glow to them, which I do not mind. I really don't. I just want my face to be set. I want my makeup to last. Did mattify, definitely, and it is adding just a tad bit of coverage. I always like baked products because you get a little bit more product in the pan. And I was gonna go ahead and outline the top of my brows, but I didn't even bother because that tinted moisturizer doesn't really have a whole bunch of coverage. I'm not super in love with the face. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the lower lash line. Crazy and Oh Hello together. I'm just gonna pop some mascara on the bottom. I really like this mascara. Like, it's doing a really good job at lengthening and separating. Because the eyes are so bold, I'm gonna leave the lips plain. This is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these products or if you plan to. If you guys would like to see some of my other videos where the makeup turns out a little bit better than it did today, I will leave the link to my playlist right up here. That way you guys can go ahead and check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.